Join me right now on Kumite TV. Back on the show is UFC flyweight rising prospect Gillian Robertson. What's going on?
Not much. Just finished training tonight and getting ready for my fight July 27th. Super excited.
Of course, of course. Now, around the time of your last fight, you were hacked. Now, what happened there? Explain.
Honestly, I have no idea how they got in, but my Instagram account got hacked, and it was literally the day of weigh-ins. Like I can't sleep the night of weigh-ins just because I'm cutting weight. I'm really dehydrated. So I woke up at 4 a.m. to like 5 texts from people back home in a different time zone telling me, they're like, "Oh, I think your Instagram got hacked." And then I go and I look on it, and I slowly see all my pictures getting deleted, like minute by minute, more and more getting deleted. And the hacker ended up eventually texting me. He got my number off the Instagram account, and he was like, "Oh, I'll sell your account back to you." And I was like, "No, I'm definitely not doing that." But I was able to get in contact with somebody at Instagram, and they were able to get me my account back later that day. So thankfully, everything worked out perfectly. But it was a lot of stress, especially when I'm down on weight. When I was cutting weight then.
Definitely. You know, the hack. Why would someone want to hack you? I guess to make money, right? That's what the guy wanted. How much? Could you reveal how much money he wanted from you?
He was honestly only asking for $500, but whenever I got my account back, I looked in like my messages, and he was trying to sell like Blue Star accounts to people for $100 each. So I had people messaging me trying to give me money because they thought I was him.
That's funny. Well, at least you got your stuff. Yeah, at least you got your Instagram back. I think that's important in this day and age, to promote yourself on social media. And you're doing a good job yourself. So, getting your stuff hacked must have been stressful. But it did not have any effect on your performance the next day. You went out there. You were in Prague, in another country, got the second round submission. How was that trip other than getting hacked, and what is your assessment of the fight?
The trip was absolutely amazing. I loved Prague. It was just such a beautiful city to be in. And my assessment of the fight, I got the win. I'm not necessarily proud of how I performed. I feel like there's just, even in my jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of mistakes that I made that are like just stupid little mistakes that she was able to capitalize on, where I'm looking back, I'm like, you never do that in the gym. Why'd you do it in that moment? So it's just things that I went back and I've had to refine. But I would have definitely liked to display a little bit more ground and pound in that fight, be able to capitalize with a little bit more strikes. Not, I'm never necessarily trying to strike on the feet, but I want to do more damage on the ground. I want to be able to really, I want to be able to cut this next girl I fight so bad. That's my goal.
Is that the reason why after that last fight you kind of went into doing jiu-jitsu tournaments to kind of like sharpen up your game more?
No, I just went into jiu-jitsu tournaments more just to stay active. I feel like it's very important, and with the UFC, I'm not staying as active as I'd like to right now. When I was an amateur, I was an amateur for 2 years, and I had 12 fights in 2 years. So it was like, that's a fight every like 2 months, and that's probably a little bit too active for me right now. But I would like to have a fight like every 3 or 4 months. But doing a jiu-jitsu tournament, it keeps you in that competition mindset. It keeps you. It's just a different pace when you're going against somebody you don't know, when you have a crowd watching you, and it gets you used to just performing well and making better decisions in front of a crowd.
Yeah, you said you wanted to fight every 3 months, but this fight I think is about 5 months, 6 months almost, right? Now, does the UFC have a plan for you? Is that why they waited so long to book you, or did you just want to fight in Canada?
I have no idea. Whatever what, like ever since I've been with the UFC, every single fight I've got has been about 5 or 6 months apart from each other. So it's definitely not what I'd like, but it's just what I'm getting right now, and hopefully after this fight, I'll build a little bit bigger name for myself, and I'll be able to get a quick turnaround.
Have anybody turned down a fight with you? You don't have to say any names, but has that happened?
I know that there was talks of one fight, and then a female, like she got injured. So there was a fight that was supposed to happen earlier, and it didn't happen. But yeah, no talk. Nobody's turned me down, I don't think, so far. But I've definitely called out a lot of people, and the UFC just hasn't set it up.
You said after your last fight, you deserved somebody in the top 15, but you got Sarah Frota. What was the reaction you had when she was offered to you?
I mean, I'm happy for a fight no matter what. I'm happy for the matchup, but it just like you said, I would have definitely liked someone in the top 15. Definitely like someone who is going to be a tough matchup for me. But no matter what, it's always experience getting in there. It's like I said, you just being in front of a crowd, you learn how to perform better. So having another win on my record and hopefully getting that 50K this fight is definitely going to be a positive. So.
Did you check out her promotional debut, and what did you think of her performance?
I did watch her debut. She came in, I believe, 7 or 8 pounds over for that fight, so she was a lot bigger than Olivia Hinata Souza, and they ended up coming to a close split decision. But it's like, I don't know, Sarah didn't really do anything impressive during the whole fight. Of course, Olivia's the former Invicta champ. She's definitely a tough competitor, but Sarah pulled guard a few times, and I feel like she's going to be comfortable going to the ground with me. She has a lot of submissions off her back, but that's going to be a mistake on her part.
Yeah, pulling guard in MMA is like not recommended, right? But Sarah does that a lot. If you watched her fights, even outside the UFC, she does that so much. And then, I guess against lower level competition, you can do that. But when you get to the UFC, has any coach ever told you to pull guard?
And honestly, I pull guard in a different way. I aggressively pull guard. No matter what, if I'm pulling guard in a fight, then I'm getting a sweeper submission instantly off of it. So like when I fought Molly McCann, I pulled guard there, but I swept her instantly. So it was like an arm drag to a guard pull to a sweep, and then I was right on top. So not like the way that Sarah pulls guard, I would never do it in a fight. I feel like that's to the point of I don't like she doesn't want to wrestle, so she's pulling guard to get the fight to the ground. Where I feel like that's like it almost becomes a desperate guard pull. Where if you're doing it aggressively and you have a plan behind it, like I said, if you're going to a sweeper submission instantly off the guard pull, then I feel like it's safe to do.
Yeah, she did also come, in overweight, way overweight. Is that a concern for you, or does that not matter? You'll still fight her just like her last opponent.
Well, her last fight was at 115, so she's actually moving up for this fight.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, she weighed in 123 for her last fight, and then this will be at 125 this time. So, hopefully, she'll make weight. You do see it sometimes that fighters they come up a weight class and they think they can put on a little bit extra muscle, whatever, and then they miss weight again. So, hopefully, that doesn't happen. But no matter what, the fight's going to be on.
How does she stack up against your previous opponents in the UFC? Do you think she's similar to anybody?
No, I don't. I feel like she has her own style. She's if anything, she's honestly like the girl that I lost to, Myra Buena Silva, where they're decent Muay Thai, not a lot of wrestling, and then they're good black belts on the ground. So, like I don't know. I never came up. I don't feel like I showed up 100% to that fight. So I'm 100% confident in this, no matter what.
How does it feel to be fighting in Canada? You're Canadian. This is your first professional fight in Canada. A lot of people probably don't know that.
It's absolutely insane to be able to fight in Canada. Literally, every single one of my pro fights has been in like my opponent's hometown, pretty much. So to finally be able to be in my home country, it's going to be insane to have the country behind me, have some people actually cheering for me instead of the whole crowd booing me.
Yeah, you're going to your home country. You probably go in as a huge favorite over Frota. Do you feel this way? Do you feel that much confidence in yourself? And you're at this level to where it's hard to beat you now.
I feel like I'm always 100% confident in myself, no matter what. Walking into the cage, I have the best team, best coaches in the world, and I know that when that cage door closes, that I'm ready for anything.
Now, outside of your fight, there's a lot of stuff going on in the flyweight division. I would like to pick your brain about that. The last title fight was Jessica Ai versus Shevchenko at UFC 238. Did you expect that type of fight? Did you expect a highlight reel, like knockout by Shevchenko?
I definitely expected that. I didn't expect it that soon, but I feel like Shevchenko's just going to be dominant in this division for a while right now until you see maybe a couple years down the road, you're going to see the younger girls like me and Montana De La Rosa. And there's a few more girls that are coming up, but it's just right now, there's no one that's really in like top 5, top 10 that's going to give her problems, I don't think.
What do you think would be like the main strength, going in against Valentina that would help somebody beat her?
Well, her weakness is definitely going to be her grappling more than anything. She's still a strong grappler, but I feel like her striking is just so much stronger than her grappling. Like she's just next level in the striking. I feel like my style of grappling, I have a very dangerous submission game. No matter what, I'm always hunting for the finish, and I feel like it's very unexpected, and people fall into it a lot. They find themselves in a choke before they even realize they're in a choke, and I feel like my type of game would be able to take her out, and I just need a few more years to develop my skills.
UFC Uruguay is going to happen, a few weeks after your fight. Valentina is defending her title against Liz Carmouche. You fought actually, on the same card as her in Prague. What do you think her chances are, against, Valentina? Because I feel that she actually has a decent chance because she has beaten her before and she has a strong ground game.
Liz definitely does have a decent chance. I feel like she's strong in general, just physically. Like she's definitely gonna be able to put up. I feel like it'll definitely be a better fight than what her and Jessica I had, but I still feel like Valentina's gonna come out champ no matter what. I feel like she's just gonna be dominant for a while, like I said.
All right, July 27th, UFC 240. Edmonton, Canada. Gillian, thank you so much for your time and good luck on everything that you are doing.
Thank you for having me.